I
Oh,
think we're
we
on.
are on. Look at that.
Are we? That's
Yeah,
exciting.
it
Yeah, we're
says,
good.
yeah, we're going. We're going. I wonder how that's working for us.
I don't know. Just keep, what's the definition of insanity?
Do the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. All right. How's that
Yeah.
working for you?
How,
Yeah.
how's that working for you?
How's that working for you? I mean, uh, Scott and I always had this thing for years where we'd say something and we'd say, "How's that working for you?" Now, that might be throwing it back into your face, yet, uh, what are you doing? And is it really working for you? So sometimes it's okay to ask that question.
I mean, I think it's always okay if you're okay with blatant honesty and blatant truth. I mean, are you trying to sugarcoat things or are you trying to be a good friend? I mean, it depends on what your goals are, right? So if you're with somebody or if you find yourself complaining about the situation that you're in, ask yourself that question. How's that working for you? And if it's not working for you, you might want to change what the hell you're doing.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like if someone's going to be upset that they're mad or sad or something like that. Well, just remember this. You're the only one that has control of your emotions, right? So if you're complaining about a situation or if you're not happy with something, you're the one that did it. And it's okay as long as you come to that realization, then you won't be able to change it, right? As soon as you realize that you all the steps to where you're at now got you there, wherever that is. And that's okay because you wouldn't have known to do something better if you hadn't have done whatever you did to get to where you're at. And if you are fantastic, and everything's great, then there you go. Marvelous. Mission accomplished. Give me a call. Let me know how you did it.
Well, the more you work on the things that you want to work on, the more you'll have grasp over them. And the thought is, how's that working for you? Is it really working for you? And are you doing the things it's going to take to get there? So, and are we really there all the time? This is almost like a confusion hypnosis right here. I'm confusing myself here. So sometimes
Yeah,
we,
do explain.
yeah, let's explain this by going out. Sometimes we have to, you know, get out of ourself and look at what's going on, like the third person. Like, what would you say you're doing? What would somebody else say you're doing? And what would the bird on the wall say? Both of those and try to get a better response to, how's that working for you? Is it really working for you? And what's the things they can do to make it work for 'em? The question is, I guess, is, what would you do if this is what you want? I always go
Well,
back,
I mean,
where,
what would you do for a Klondike bar?
well, a what? A lot, especially if you're hungry enough. And then you don't get it. And then you're going, how's that working for you? Well, I really was working on it, but did you go the right way? Uh, I think before we got on, you were talking about
Yeah.
assuming.
So basically, all this pretty much stems from, um, I don't know if it's become more in my conscious mind. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of people that just run off with all these suggestions, and they don't ask you what your goal is, or like they just say, oh, you should do this and you should do that, and I wouldn't do this, and who do you think you are doing that when you should be doing this, and you're just wasting your time doing that, and it's not like they were like, well, I understand you have this vision. What do you plan on doing with that? Right? Their mind just runs in all these different directions. And it just gets annoying when somebody starts giving me all this advice when they haven't even stopped to ask, what the goal was, right? Like, or what is it? Twitter thumbs or Twitter fingers? Like, so basically how everything stemmed out was like, I had a goal in mind where I wanted to put together a CRM using Go High Level, which Go High Level already does all these amazing things. It just isn't really geared for event life, right? So I was like, well, I don't know how much it would cost to like have a team, put something together to make it work. Yet it's going to take different phases because I had my first meeting and we didn't really go over prices or anything like that. But the guys were super excited and they were like, "Yeah, this is definitely a whole. This is something that can be done, right?" And then I was like, "Okay." And the question that the text asked me was, "Well, what are the top 4 or 5 features you'd want to have in phase one?" Because you wouldn't be able to do everything all at once. It would just wouldn't make any sense. It would be you have to have a foundation to build on further, right? And then you have meetings like this. I had an hour-long meeting with these people, and on top of that, I had meetings with other DJs and recorded screens and sent it to this team for them to, get a better scope. Right? Because they asked the right questions. They didn't assume anything. They were like, hey, look, what are you looking to do? Send it over to us and then we'll analyze it even further, right? Open mindset. So they were like, okay, well, there's a lot going on here. What are the top things you want to work on? And I was like, well, let me go ask some people in a Facebook group. Was it a mistake or was it a learning experience? Because a lot of people, not everybody, I actually met a few good people in there that had a better mindset. But I got to tell you, the community's kind of garbage. Like this group or whatever, or maybe just, you know, this level of entertainer, like or the loudmouths, right? Like there's the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? The ones that want to spit off all this information and they don't know anything, right? And that's everywhere. Like I got post after post after post of all these people just saying stuff that like didn't even make any sense. And they were in there. I just asked what kind of features you want so I can get it back to the team. I wasn't asking for your advice or anything like that. I was only asking for what you would like or what you don't see other. So some of the comments I got was, "Why would you need another one? There's so many out there." Well, haven't you ever been to Walmart and saw 20,000 different types of shampoo, right? And then there was another person that was like, "Well, if there's so many out there, why would you make another one?" Because that means there's a market for it. There wouldn't be all these different CRMs if people weren't buying it, right? Like it just wouldn't be there. Like, but explaining that to a narrow-minded person who hasn't taken the $100,000 classes I've taken, it just frustrates me. And then Jeff's like, "How's that working for you?"
How's that working for you? So sometimes we just got to step back and say, if it's not working for us, what else could we do? Because sometimes things aren't working for us, and it's okay. It's not what happens to us in life; it's how we're going to deal with it. Because really, only what happens to you in life is probably only 5%. It's how you deal with it. It's the other 95% I heard is that basically I just almost said the word shit, but I'm not going to say that word. Uh, Things
Uh,
happen to you, and it's going to do it your whole life. I mean, I have never even, no matter where you're at in life, heard of anybody had a perfect life. I mean, there's, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or whatever. There's always obstacles, and how we overcome these obstacles is how our happiness will be. You know, more. I'm more of a happiness kind of guy who wants to be happy and help the world be happier. Yet, how's that working? You know, it's one is attitude in what's your attitude and what's your thoughts about it, and understanding how to pull yourself back and look at things in a different way. Because when you look at things in a different way, the things you look at change. So if we can change the way we're looking at things and then come up with a better answer or solution to how's that working for you. And sometimes it's not. So we sometimes have to veer one way or another to make them work for us.
yeah, I guess I just get frustrated because I'm so excited about marketing, right? That's how you make the money, right? That's how the money comes in, marketing and sales. Like without that, there,
Well,
there is no business. And then a funny question Jeff asked me, he's like, when you were in this group, do they all have businesses? And my response to him was, well, they think they have businesses. Like,
Well, what I was referring to Scott is basically sometimes we're not in our tribe. I mean, we're
Yeah.
in a place that we think would be, they would get something out of us and we'd get something out of them, but sometimes we're just in the wrong place. You know, uh, it, so going to because time gets more valuable as you age, and in Scott's situation, time gets more valuable right now because he's got so many irons in the fire. And I was saying to him, basically, sometimes some of these things in the fire you don't have to do. You can, how's that working for you? Let some of these things going to the side. Do you really need to go to that meeting if it's not going to, not that you be mean or rude to anyone not going to their meeting, but sometimes it's not either going to help them or you. So sometimes your time is more valuable to put somewhere else, especially yours, Scott, because you have so many irons in the fire. And
Yeah,
in
every time you call me, it's like, oh, I got 3 minutes to my next Zoom. You called me yesterday and I was like setting up an event. You called me like, I don't know, the day before that, and I was in the middle of a show or something. Like it's nonstop from 5 a.m. till I don't know, whenever I go to bed. Like tomorrow I have a triple. Like, you know, especially with the holiday season, like I'm actually so busy that I flew in a guy from Wisconsin to handle the next 2 week, like to help me with the workload for the next 2 weekends. That's how busy it is.
well, that's a good place
And
to be.
it's like, oh, like, oh, you need to do this, but I need to answer this email. I need to send this contract out, like I need to send this email campaign out. And then it's just so funny. Like my goal is to become a millionaire, right? And so I sat down with somebody else. And he's like, "Oh, I make $100,000," and I was like, "That's nice." Like, but that's not where I'm trying to go, Like I've already done that. Like I've done that quadruple this year. Like, so I want to spend my time with, people that know how to do bigger numbers. Like I gotta find those people. Like I gotta, come up with the money to pay for their classes to sit at their table. Like whatever. I'd rather do that than keep doing more of the same because I, I don't want to DJ forever, right? Like I'm pretty much over it. I've been over it for a while, but it's the quickest way to make money. And to tell somebody else I know how to make them money and then give them money for me to teach them hasn't really worked out as well as I thought it would.
How's that working for you?
How's that working for you?
So
It
it's a
it, it
hard
turns into
truth.
it turns into like, okay, so people are so bombarded with all these different experts, right? Like all these different people that have this proven way, and then all these different commercials and all this different, opinions, especially when a lot of opinions out there are like garbage, and like maybe somebody went out there and followed somebody that they really believed in, and then they're scarred for life because that didn't work out the way that it worked out for the person that they followed, or that person lied to them. And then it's like, well, what do I do now? I'm just going to keep doing more of the same because I don't know who's right, who's wrong, or what will work for me. And another thing too to think about is like if I figured out like a formula, it may not work for everybody else because I've sat down with two different business owners. Well, these two different business owners operate the same way, right? And it's like explaining to them, okay, so it's kind of like if somebody has scarcity mindset, right? Oh, I don't want to do that because I might lose this or I might lose that, I might lose that. And then trying to convince somebody to have the abundance mindset, which is like a totally different way of thinking, that it probably won't work out anyway because you're going to run into the same old patterns that you were doing. So I remember even myself saying something like this. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, that people would get so excited about going to listen to Tony Robbins because he would, get everybody all psyched up and, he really knows how to move people on the identity level. Yet when you left the room, I mean, Tony's not in your back pocket at that point, right? Like he can't help you through that next hiccup or that next bump or whatever's happening, right? So now that I've had these years of experience and learning and understanding better, that if I had to guess, Tony Robbins has like a supercharged abundance mindset people he were talking to, it's kind of like opening up the curtain a little bit. Oh yeah, there it is. But when he's not there to hold the curtain, you go back to what you were doing before.
What
And
I
that's kind of what it's like.
Right. What I believe on that, when you're saying that, is basically there's going to be a percentiles at the very, minimal who's going to open it up and run with it. They're going to do this, and they're going to keep on going, and then they're going to open up another one and open up another one like you're doing. But there's the others who will go to a convention and not use anything. So if you don't use anything at a convention, you just went to kind of just play around with the people. If you don't put anything that you learned into action, without action, without going forward, you're staying stagnant. You might say, I met a lot of people. Okay. Are you going to communicate or do business with these people? And if the answer is no, then maybe you're not going to the right place or you're not doing the right things when you get there. So, again, like Scott says a lot, is when people ask him, they don't ask him. They don't ask him the question, "What are you trying to get out of this?" So, what are you? Because
Especially like
I'm
other
working for you.
DJs that
What?
want to join the
Yeah.
company, they don't
What?
come up and say, "What do I got to do to be on the team?" They just say, "Oh, you should hire me." Like, you know,
So what we want to do and everything is take away what we can, and and get what
oh,
out of what we can, and not like only take no give, but understand where we're at, because how's that working for you? Is it really working for you? In going places, sometimes it's kind of a waste of your time if it's not benefiting them and you, because almost everything, in if you can, in business, you kind of want a win-win situation. They win, you win, and you have the abundance. Everybody's going to be okay here, and we're going to be abundant. And also, am I wasting my time? Are they wasting their time on me? So if it is, then
so here's a conversation I had. I want to say yesterday, but I don't remember because the days moving together, right?
right.
So my office rings, right? And it was 7:30 in the morning. I don't think I had left to bring my daughter to school yet. Like it was 7:30. And then I pick up the phone and the guy says, "Oh, you're in Orlando, right?" I go, "Yeah, djsorlando.com." Like, he's like, "I need you, or I need you to go over to do a corporate event right now." Like I was like, "What?" "Yeah, I need a DJ and I need someone there all day." And it's at one of the hotels in Orlando. I don't even remember. I don't even know if we got to the hotel part. I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna stop you right there. You don't have enough money for me to move." And he's like, "What do you mean? I have like $1,000." And I was like, "Okay, well, for me to do a day rate is $1,500. Plus, this is a sense of urgency where I have to stop doing everything I'm doing right now. So that's another $500. So you're looking at least $200,000 or $2,000. Yeah. Anyway, it's at least
Yeah,
two
I got
thousand
it. I
dollars.
got
It's at least $2,000 if you want me to move." And he goes, "Well, I don't need anything crazy. I just need a DJ with two speakers." And I go, "You know what's crazy? Calling me at 7:30 in the morning and thinking I'm going to stop everything I'm doing to go run to do an event for you." And here's a bunch of things we can talk about, Jeff, right? So if somebody and his whole like way of negotiation was not trained. It wasn't like if I was to call somebody like that, I'd be like, well, first I would know what the price is, right? So I would call somebody up, like if I was this guy from Miami and I'm in Orlando and say my DJ bailed, right? I would call up all as many people as I could, and I'd be like, "Do you want to make $1,000 today?" At least get a yes, right? So if they say no, I hang up, call the next one, hang up, call the next one, right? So now that we have the yes, then we would go into this is what I need and I need you to do it now, right? And then if that didn't work, call the next one, call the next one, call the next one. This guy didn't do any of that, right? So what I said was, well, what he said was, "Oh, I don't need anything crazy. I need a DJ with two speakers." And I go, "You know what's crazy? Thinking I'm going to stop everything I'm doing to go do that event." And then I said, "I best of luck to you." And then I just kind of hung up on him.
Well, I have found in my career of
Oh yeah. Oh, another thing too. Like maybe he didn't pay the other DJ. That's why he didn't show up. Like, does he have the money? Like, are you gonna pay me before I even load the car?
right,
Plus,
that's
you don't have the money that I want to begin with. Like,
well, same thing is when people call last minute, they a lot of times they'll even cancel you on the way over because they found somebody cheaper or whatever. There's just usually, not always, but usually there's a reason why you don't want to hire something when it's that far out, especially if it's important. Like if it was a wedding or something, and you're the only way if they found is like somebody just canceled on me. I'm so sorry. Is there any way you could help me? This is what I have, and that's how I would have done it. But I would never hardly I, I would every once in a while, but most of the time I'd never bite on something like that because it's if they're waiting that last minute to do it, I have found that they've even maybe even hired somebody else and they got in a conflict. Or I've been. Have you ever gone to a one of your events and somebody else is there, like they double booked?
yeah,
So I've done that several times. That's why I always have a contract. I say, I don't care. You can send me home, but you're still paying me because my contract says that. So that's why contracts are very, very important in this. And the thing is, if he's calling you right there, 7:30, when does he need you there? You got to go through a contract situation because I wouldn't trust anyone to pay me, unless it was cash on delivery. And then if it was cash on delivery, if they found somebody cheaper by the time you got there, they just cancel again. So there is and that has happened not a whole bunch of times, about 4 or 5 times,
I
where,
mean, what kind of person are you dealing with that can't schedule something properly to begin with?
or the day of. That's the thing is, if they didn't have a real good explanation why it's happening, and then you just, I guess you could even give us their line. How's that working for you?
Yeah, how's that
Waiting
working for
so
you?
late. It's 7:30 in the morning, and you're trying to get something today. If somebody, oh, what'd
I
you
had
do?
to stop the
Stop.
camera. I had to stop the camera from like I did something and it was moving. Not
Okay.
anymore.
So you have to ask those questions, especially how's that working for you? Why? I would go back and say, what's your scenario? I mean, this seems
I didn't even want to know that. I didn't want to go
uh,
that far. If he would have said I had $2,000, then I would have figured out more, but he did not.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
that was the number that came to mind. I mean, my daughter's not going to school today. But if you have $2,000, but like other than that, no. You'd be like grateful that I answered the phone at 7:30 in the morning. Like it's 30
and,
minutes before even our published office hours.
and also, that's kind of where we're in. How's it working for you? What boundaries are you setting up for yourself, especially as your company will go
Yeah,
to?
you're gonna run and jump for anything, right?
I've, like I said, I found that jumping for some of those things, you get burnt. You know, they say it's so last minute, but you can't even get there because the traffic's so bad. Or, the scenario is you're not even ready. I mean, you
Yeah.
still have to pack all your stuff. You have to get there. You've got to, who's going to be there. There's no guarantees. Who is this guy? You know, so I usually don't even answer the phone. I don't even care for myself or what they're if they're calling that late or you know
Yeah. So
so
anyway, there you have it.
so how's that working for you? Think about those things and what you're doing. Are you getting where you want to go? And if it's not, what are you going to do next? I think that's always what's the next best step, to wherever you're going with your goals. And even I think last week we were talking about, or the week before, assuming, you can't assume people are going to do stuff. You got to make sure you got your contract, make
Yeah.
sure you got the people.
That's where you'll get in a lot of trouble. You'll assume. You could save yourself so many headaches just by asking more clarifying questions, finding out what more of the details are, and not just showing up and, oh, I thought it was this. Well, I know it takes longer to ask those questions to get the details. I'm probably horrible at getting a lot of details because I like to go straight to the, like as a DJ, like I don't want to think about this song, this song, this song. I just want to think about people jumping up and down, right? Like, but it's going to take those songs to get that to happen, right? Like, so it's something I've had to learn over the last 5 years or so, along with many other things. And assuming that's like not even caring what the other person has going on in their mind. Like you don't care. You just want to vomit onto somebody, like word vomit onto somebody else. Like what is that doing? I'm so glad you got it out. Like, but is that really helping anything? Or adding more mess, fuel to the
Chaos.
fire, right?
Chaos.
Yeah, just adding more chaos instead of like getting down to the nitty gritty and finding out what the desired outcome is and then just heading towards that. But you can't get to the desired outcome if you're not clear on what that is. And a lot of people just think they know. Oh, they know what's best for you. No, you don't know what's best for me. I live my own life. It's my own happiness that I'm in charge of, not you. And besides, ask yourself this. If you're giving opinions on how to do something, have you fucking done it yourself? Like, have you done what you're talking about? If not, then shut up. Like,
Hey, I've got a lot of good advice here.
if you haven't done what you're giving somebody else advice on, just stop.
Or do the other thing is basically say somebody else said this. I don't know if it's true. Get get the heat back off of you.
Yeah.
Uh,
So there's that.
there
I don't
you
know.
go.
Any closing remarks, Jeff?
Yeah, let's see. Basically, remember, uh, how's that working for you? Is usually a thing you say to somebody, and it's a stab almost. But it's okay to do it to yourself. How's that working for me? And if it's not working, let's figure out a solution to that. And so it's we're all a work in progress. And again, it's not what's going to happen to you, it's how you're going to deal with it. And then say to yourself, how's that working for me? And if it's not,
Yeah.
let's fix it.
And maybe something that works for you may not work the same way for someone else. The
I
same.
totally agree with that because right when you were talking about, you could give somebody the total direction, what you did for your company, but they can't do it because they're not you. I mean, you
Yeah,
can.
I could lay out all the blueprints. Doesn't mean you're going to solve the problems the same way that I did.
Right. And also, a lot of people don't recognize, and they maybe they should, is the person in front of you is not you. So we've gone this, if you go way back, we were talking about our maps of the world. See, we see everything Scott does, he does it through Scott. And everything I do it through me. So and you see that's how you see the world. Everything you've ever been a part of, every thought you ever had, everything you ever done, that's who you are. And Scott's the same way. He whatever he's done and whatever he's learned, that's what he knows. And we're all that same way. So we filter the world through our own eyes of everything that happened to us. It doesn't mean it's true or not true, but people assume, this is where the assuming we talked about a few weeks ago, that I know what you're talking about. The heck I do. I because I can't see through your eyes and you can't see through mine. So that's why communication is so important where you say, you know, ask those questions that Scott keeps on bringing up all the time. Ask the right questions because you don't have an answer to somebody if you're just blobbing out what you think they need to know. That's assuming. Ask them what do they really want to get out of this. And
And
then
that's another thing you
break
learn
it
in
down.
NLP, even though people may want something, like an issue. Like I said, something I learned early on in NLP is that somebody may think the issue is X, Y, and Z, but when you ask better questions, they find out that's not even it at all.
Right. And so a good thing to say right there, what would that do for you? And what will this information do for you? Where are you going to, what are you
Is
going
it
to do with it?
sustainable once you get there?
Yeah. The
Or
word,
maybe that's not exactly what you want. Maybe this is better. I
right.
don't
Tell them
know.
to go back to their well-formed outcome,
Yeah.
you know, all these things. So the closing remarks brought us in back in, but
Yeah, I know the well-formed outcome. We have a video on that. Make sure to watch that. We have multiple videos on that because that will clear up so many different like okay, so people have issues, right? Like they may complain about things, yet if they get clearer about what they want, then you know every step is feels like a step forward because even if something bad happens to you, it feels like a step forward because you realize, oh, that's just not the direction I want to take. Right. So, okay, well, I figured out one direction I don't want to take. Let's go find 100 more directions, like that would probably work out better. Like, and as long as you understand what target you're trying to hit, it's not like you're going to walk backwards, right? Or even walking backwards could be where you needed to walk in order to figure out what walking forward was. It's just as long as you're optimistic about it, you'll be all right. And then keep working at it. Like you only, what do they say? You only lose if you quit. You only quit if you give up, right? You haven't
yeah,
lost.
basically,
You only lost if you quit, right?
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, basically, you don't lose until you quit because till you give up on whatever you're doing, it's not over till it is. So when you give up, so keep on going forward and don't give up on your dreams.
Yeah, just realize that we're all in loops, like whether you like it or not. We're in our own loop, and we have other people that are trained to ask better questions. Well, find people that are trained to ask better questions, depending on what you have around you, right? You're an equal of the 4 or 5 people that you hang out with, right? So find better people, like, like, or find different people, like, or if you keep getting the same results and you don't know why, um, maybe maybe a hypnotist or an NLP practitioner, or to ask better questions if you're stuck and you're like I don't know how to find other people like that think like this or are better off. Like I'm stuck here. Like well, online's got lots of places for you to find an NLP practitioner or hypnotist to kind of like shake things up. And here's something that I kind of realized too. Like there'll be people out there that are like, oh, I met with a videographer guy a couple weeks back. He's like, oh, I want to have a team of people that I send out. I don't have anybody right now. Well, literally on that show, he wasn't doing the photography. He had sent one of his guys out, but in his mind, he didn't realize that's what was going on. Like, so if you want to get more specific about your goal, like say you want it larger than that, right? Like he didn't even realize that he was doing what he was doing while he was doing it, and you could be there too.
Well, back to how's that working for you? And it
How
could
is that
be,
working for you?
yeah. And if it is, then keep doing that going forward and keep going forward on what's working for you. And if it's not, that's when you ask those questions. Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're not.
Well, there you have it.
There you go. It's a confusing one. It's like, whoa. Well,
That's all right. I think we had 4 views in the last one, 3 views in the one before. Oh, we had 10. We had 10 views in a couple of these.
there you go.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. If I pass, my daughter can watch all these.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Happy holidays. And Rick, man, if I'm next Wednesday, I'm doing something. I'll be here. Wednesday or probably Tuesday's better. I don't know. We'll see. All righty, guys.
Have a good